Traveled all over this country, prospecting and digging for gold. I've tunneled, hydraulicked and cradled, and I have been frequently sold. I have been frequently sold, yes, I have been frequently sold. I've tunneled, hydraulicked and cradled, and I have been frequently sold. Each man who got rich by mining, perceiving that hundreds grew poor, I made up my mind to try farming, the only pursuit that was sure. The only pursuit that was sure. The only pursuit that was sure. I made up my mind to try farming, the only pursuit that was sure. Rolling my grub in my blanket, I left all my tools on the ground. I started one morning to shank it for the country they call Puget Sound. The country they call Puget Sound. The country they call Puget Sound. I started one morning to shank it for the country they call Puget Sound. Arriving flat broke in midwinter, I found it enveloped in fog and covered all over with timber, thick as hair on the back of a dog. Thick as hair on the back of a dog, as hair on the back of a dog. And covered all over with timber, thick as hair on the back of a dog. Looked on the prospect so gloomy, the tears trickled over my face, and I thought that my travels had brought me to the end of the jumping off place. To the end of the jumping off place. The end of the jumping off place. I thought that my travels had brought me to the end of the jumping off place. Staked me a claim in the forest and sat myself down to hard toil. For 2 years I chopped and I struggled, but I never got down to the soil. I never got down to the soil. I never got down to the soil. For 2 years I chopped and I struggled, but I never got down to the soil. Tried to get out of the country, but poverty forced me to stay. Until I became an old settler, then nothing could drive me away. Then nothing could drive me away. Nothing could drive me away. Until I became an old settler, then nothing could drive me away. Now that I'm used to the climate, I think that if a man ever found a place to live easy and happy, that Eden is on Puget Sound. That Eden is on Puget Sound. That Eden is on Puget Sound. A place to live easy and happy, that Eden is on Puget Sound. Longer the slave of ambition, I laugh at the world and its shams, as I think of my pleasant condition, surrounded by acres of clams. Surrounded by acres of clams. Surrounded by acres of clams. I think of my pleasant condition,